All right, listen, here we are again. Welcome to the Dangling Carrot Podcast. I'm calling it the DC Podcast.
Okay.
The DC
Revamping.
Pod. I think I'm gonna change it, man. My
What's
wife.
causing you to change it?
People get kicks and giggles out of the name. Let's just put it like that. And so I know what the Dangling Carrot is, and if those who do not know, it is when a person holds a carrot in front of a horse to get them to go where they want them to go in hopes of actually obtaining that carrot, but they never get it. So that's what this podcast is about for people who's chasing different ideas and hoping to get the quick success, but they never obtain it because they never do what they were really meant to do. They keep bouncing around. So I have somebody on here that's been focused for a little bit. You may see him on IG throwing Christian parties, and people getting litty on the gram. It's called the Joyful Noize concert.
Yes,
Is it even a
sir.
concert? Is it a concert?
It is a Christian club.
All right, Christian club. We're gonna talk about that.
We'll say it's a Christian pop-up club. It's not a brick
See,
and mortar.
I was right.
Club.
Yeah, see, it's been a pop-up. I've been calling it pop-up. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
But look, y'all, we got Bryce G on the DC podcast. Man, give it up for him. And man, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing amazing.
We got
I'm a little. Yeah.
There you go.
Drop the clue bomb. We here. Yeah. Nah, I'm doing amazing. I'm a little tired. One thing about me, I live an hour away from Orlando, and my business is in Orlando. So that drive could be a little treacherous. I just came off that drive, but I was excited to get here, so this got me up again.
Oh man. So is it traffic in Florida? Is it a lot of traffic there?
And you from the Bay, so it's not Bay Area traffic.
Okay.
But it's enough. It's enough to hold me back a bit. So I'll say it's enough, but it's not treacherous.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, well that's good, man. So you got a business there, but we're gonna start you off with some rapid fire questions. And I know a lot of people want to know who you are, what you do. But I think people want to know about your personality. And I think that's pretty cool because I was actually watching The Chosen last night, and they gave Jesus a personality, like it was funny and all this good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
Shout out
we need
Angel
to put
Studios.
there you go. I think we need to put a personality to Bryce G. So starting off with the rapid fire questions, what is your favorite store?
My favorite store is Guitar Center.
Guitar
Center. Yeah.
I knew it.
It's the playground for musicians.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, I knew that. That was the easy one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, all right. So we all know you know what you do in your pop-up Christian clubs too, but if you had any other choice of music to listen to, what do you listen to? What's on your playlist?
Man, drum and bass. UK drum and bass is actually the nerdy stuff that I get into. Yeah, UK drum and bass. I would say for sure the soul oldies but goodies.
Oh, there it is.
But I'm into weird, like I like stretching my brain. There's like hyper pop. I'm always exploring. Like as a DJ, I'm just a journeyman trying to see what's out there. So there's some emerging genres that I just kind of dig into a little bit in my downtime.
Okay, what's that called again? UK what?
Drum and bass.
UK drum and bass. All right.
Yeah. So shout out to all my London folk. Like it's kind of a staple genre out there. Like it ties into drill music. Like before drill, there was drum and bass. There was all types of stuff. Like out there.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Here's a layup for you. You ready for this one? Who's your best friend?
My best friend's my wife, Imani Thompson. You already know that. You said that's a layup. That's
Here's a layup for you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want to throw you a little oop, man, to catch this one. All right.
Appreciate that.
Favorite dessert?
Favorite dessert? I'm gonna have to go with. Man, it varies, but I'm gonna say right now, strawberry cheesecake ice cream. Yeah, that's a beautiful combination right there.
Strawberry cheesecake ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I thought you were about to say
Yes.
just strawberry cheesecake, and that immediately made me think about Nations. Have you had Nations before?
It's crazy because I used to always practice near Nations in Vallejo, that big
Wait a
Nations
minute.
off of I forget the name of the street, but I used to have to go by Nations all the time. I never ate there though. I know.
And now it's too late because you're in Florida.
It's way too late.
What were you doing, man, with your life?
Man,
All
I
right,
was
here we go.
going.
I don't know, man. There's a whole debate, man. I have friends that only know California for In and Out. I say, man, but y'all have not tried Nations. That was the big debate, man. But I can't have this one with you. All right, man. Night owl or early riser?
Early riser.
Okay. So that
Yeah.
means you go to bed pretty early?
I'm definitely a combination. I think preference wise, I'm an early bird. Like I'll stay up late, and deal with the consequences. But nah, my clock is set to 4 a.m. or 5 a.m.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Okay. 4 or 5 a.m. That's
yeah.
what's up, man. All right.
That's my pops. My pops had me on that.
All right. So your name is Bryce, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you had any other name that you could have chosen, because everyone has that name, like, man, if I could have had my way, my name would have been what?
Bartholomew.
Are you serious about this?
Nope. Cause I love my name. Bryce is the
Like,
name, yo. My mom
there you
came
go.
through.
Bryce, like Bartholomew. Like, that's what you want to call
Hey,
me.
shout out. I actually know somebody named Bartholomew, so it's not a joke. Shout out my homie Bart. Like, he the homie. So,
You call him Bart, though. See?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, there you go. All right, last one. Last one. Describe your style. And I think this will lead into what we're going to talk about. But describe your style in one word.
My style. My style is. Are you talking about fashion or just demeanor?
Let's go with fashion. How about that? Well, what's your style? Is it neutral? Is it, I see you be wearing the apron when you be cooking up those, the ones and twos. Like, what's your style?
Yeah, my day-to-day style super casual, super
Mm-hmm.
comfortable. But my style for when I'm working is innovative. The apron is definitely a game changer as far as me. I didn't have style before. Like, not that I wasn't dressing bad, it's just I didn't put thought to it. But once I thought about the apron, everything changed.
Okay. Now we'll get into that. We'll get into that. Well, look. All right, y'all give it up for Bryce, man. He poured out his heart on that one. Y'all know a little bit more about him now. So let's get into it, man. So look,
Yes, sir.
you know what the content is about. But how did you get in to DJing? When did this all start for you?
DJing kind of just crossed paths with me in the midst of being in the Bay Area where the party culture was just second nature. You was at the functions, you was always trying to be at the best parties and not be at the worst parties because the worst parties was always getting shot up. So
Yep, that's it.
it was like it was like a blend of survival, but also just a desire to enjoy myself and be with my friends. But then also naturally having a love for music and being immersed. I feel like it all centers around just being in the Bay Area a lot, honestly, because when I grew up driving to school in Richmond, well, San Pablo to be specific, but like going through the traffic, you're on KMEL, you're listening to some of the best DJs in the nation, listening to their mixes, their traffic jam mixes. And I never pieced together that these were DJs. I really didn't understand the concept of DJing. I just heard these mixes and I loved them. I'll try to predict what song is next. And I always just paid attention to all the details of the song, like the beats and everything. So a blend of wanting to enjoy parties, a blend of loving music. I started dabbling into creating music, led to opportunities to meet a need sometimes when I was at a hangout. Maybe the party is not that great. We need some better music. I was kind of the go-to to put on like the right jam. Mind you, everybody that's on this podcast, when I referenced the Bay Area Bryce, he was not a Christian, not even close.
Nice.
But um, still, God was working on me. So my going away my going away party, because I left the Bay Area to go to college in Virginia. I threw my own party, and pretty much I was like, who else to play music than me? I had like 10 YouTube tabs up. I had an iTunes of all the hottest songs, and I pretty much DJ my own going away party. And I would say that was the intro into me being like I call myself a master gatherer, and I'll explain more of that later. But like I was able to throw, because I played ball. I'm from Vallejo, California. I played ball in Richmond, but I also played ball in Oakland. I had a lot of friends from different parts of the city, so you can imagine what can happen when people from different parts of the city come together. Potential red flags that could pop up. But I was able to successfully throw a going away party at my house with my parents. That's another part of the story. But and have all these people there and nothing happened. Like nothing crazy happened. People had fun. They had a great time and they left. And that clicked to me. I was like, man, I threw one of the dopest parties in the city and nothing happened. Dramatic, and everybody had a good time, and I kept note of that when I went off to college. So that was kind of where things started, and then God had a lot to do with other stuff. So I'll let you continue to ask, because I can talk for days.
Let's get to that. So you having a love for music, you call yourself the master gatherer. You threw a party in Vallejo, but which consisted of people from Richmond, Oakland, and Vallejo. Nothing happened, and you go off to college. But then you say that this time, you haven't given your life to the Lord yet. But walk us into that story, that love for music, and then when you finally met the Lord.
Yes, so my love for music, it really revealed itself in college, because in high school and middle school, I was chasing the hoop dream. Now, within chasing the hoop dream, art was just kind of like there waiting for me. I would create mixes for our basketball team to warm up to. I was raised in the LimeWire era.
LimeWire.
We was streaming before. Yeah. The cowboy days, of streaming. But so yeah, that introed me into a lot of different things, good and bad, but just discovering music, learning more about music. So then when I got to college, that's when iPod, everything was, kind of just rampant or available. And that's when I was done with basketball. I got hurt, and senior year kind of put an end to that era. Went off to Hampton University and said, okay, I'm just going to enjoy college. I'm going to enjoy school. I'm going to see what this Black college experience is all about. And that's what I got into. And I would say that introduced me to the diversity of Black culture. Like it was, shout out to Hampton for that reason. Like I knew that it was an all Black college, but I didn't know that, the music that Black people listen to in the South compared to the Black people in the East, Black people international, like it was all different. So the DJs there would be playing everything. They were playing soca, then they'll play some merengue, then they'll play some. They was playing everything, and I was like, "What is this?" I'm just like, "Yo," because I've traveled for hoop, but never was I immersed in cultures. But I was a nerd for that stuff. So once I started seeing all that stuff and seeing how people reacted to music, I took note of it. And then when we started throwing our own house parties or like dorm or apartment parties, I started asking people like, what's the hits? What's the songs I should play? Or I would, kind of search for the songs they would play at the parties and throw my own little functions with my friends and stuff. But that was short-lived because I was trying to focus, was trying to get my good grades, trying to handle my business. But that was cut short because my finances wasn't on point. My parents got me to college. I appreciate them to just get me there. But really, they didn't have much knowledge in college and how to, they didn't have a lot of money saved. I got my loans and all this other stuff. And as I got through the year, I started like unraveling like what I'm really involved in. I'm just like, what is college. Why am I here? And why does it cost so much?
Mm.
And that second question really hit me. It was like, why am I here? And then that became like, why am I here, like on Earth?
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
like, why yeah.
Wow.
It was like, okay, it just hit me because I've just been in this like motion of hooping and doing everything that everybody was telling me that would be good for me. But at the end of the day, I was like, I just want to be successful. I want to make my mom happy. I want to be doing something that's meaningful. And
Yeah.
I really started asking myself, like, dang, like, what's my purpose? And I'm very explorative, and I'm grateful for my mom. She always allowed me to ask questions. She was the mom that allowed me to ask those questions and not get beat for it, or not get like, I could ask my mom, like, why do we do this? Like,
Right.
not a disrespectful way. Like,
But
trust
you just
me.
asking questions.
I was asking questions, and she welcomed it. So once I got into that space in college, I just started going to every person, went to the teachers. I even went to the president of the school. I sat down with him for a second. I just asked everybody the same question: what's your purpose? Why are you
Wow.
here?
So the Lord was already starting to work on you from why am I here at this school to why am I here on earth?
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Yeah. So as I investigated, it freaked me out because nobody gave me an answer that really had me like, I like that. It was like, I want to make my family happy, want to make a lot of money, or I just want to help people. I'm like, that's cool, but it just sounds so generic. So that led to me dropping out of school. I'm pretty dramatic, but it was kind of like, if I'm paying y'all X amount of dollars to not know where I'm at, like, it's just not. I don't see it as a worthy investment.
Right.
So
Might
that
get in
was when I
trouble.
just.
Hope no parents don't hear. Hey,
Nah,
talk
you're
to your
good.
kids. Talk to your kids. Talk to your kids.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
to be honest with you, sometimes though, college may not be the route. And so, but that's another
Yeah,
one.
that's a topic. This is my story, guys. Don't take it and I say take it and really evaluate too. Because again,
absolutely.
if you're throwing $50,000 into something and you don't know why, it's no matter what it is across the board, it's just not a good investment. I don't care. Like, college is important, but if you don't know why you're there and you're paying all this money, it just doesn't make it will never add up to me to go to something that blind with that much money involved. Yeah. So
Wow.
again, that's a tangent. But I stopped and I invested in the library. I would just be in the library reading books. Just use my library card while I could, because I stopped mid-semester. So I was like, I'm gonna use this library card until I can't. Start just reading tons of books, and that kind of bridges into when the gospel really started like infiltrated. Because as much as these books were good, a lot of them, well, not a lot of them, but there was a few of them that really started referencing like scriptures, and they would even some like leadership books was referencing Jesus as a leader.
Wow.
And then God was like, okay, this dude is ripe. Let me send him somebody to really get himself straight. So shout out to my dog Horace. He knows I give him a shout out every chance I get. This man took a year off from grad school to just preach the gospel on campus.
Wow.
And he bumped into me because he was studying the Bible with a friend of mine that I did music with. And he was just standing there awkwardly, and I was just like, what's up, bro? Like, who are you? I started just chopping it up, politicking, and he's just like, yeah, man, I'm just here studying the Bible. I'm like, all right, yeah, whatever. But I gave him a business card because I was just kind of networking outside of when I dropped out. I was trying to find business and stuff. So he took that business card and texted me, was like, hey, you want to do a Bible study? I'm just like, man, sure, why not? How can I say no to the Bible? Because I knew morally to an extent it was good to read the Bible and go to church, especially after going to a black college. They yeah.
Listen, no matter what's going on, they gonna go to church. No matter what happened before, we going to church, y'all.
Yeah. So he sat down and he introduced me to Jesus. It was the dopest experience ever, because he didn't just say, oh, this is what it is. Let me put you through this system. Read this pamphlet. Nah. He showed me the Gospels. He said, this is Jesus. is his life, and this is what he's saying. He was just asking me, what do you think about this? He was giving me context. It's like, this is what they were going through at this time, and this is how Jesus was addressing it. He helped me parallel it to today's culture, and I saw it clear as day. And then that's when I started paralleling it with my life. And it became a point where I went from being an onlooker of Jesus to him speaking directly to me. And the wise words and the wise question that Jesus asked, like, what is it to gain the world and forfeit your soul?
Right.
And that joint broke me. It shook me. And my whole demeanor changed from there. Like, because I was ambitious. I was trying to make a meal. I was trying to be successful regardless of if I didn't have a plan or not. I just knew that I need to get right. So, man, he shook me with them words. And then when that was just the warm up, like that was round one. Then my dog Horace introduced me to the cross, and just seeing like, okay, like you deliberately chose to rebel against Jesus and the word of God, and this is what put Jesus on the cross. And I'm just like, dang. And I was just like, this is it? This is the end of it? Because I really came at the gospel with pure like introduction. Like I really didn't know the gospel. Like, so when they were like, yeah, Jesus died, I'm like, dang. But like he coming back, like how does he come back? And they explain like how that happened, and that just again just woke me up, because I was like, wow, he had a whole game plan to bring me back. And I'm like, what? I was legit like, what do I do? And they shared me scriptures: repent, get baptized, obey God, and go on. And from there, that was 2013. I was 20, and man, everything has changed since.
Wow. Man, that's a powerful story, man. Right there on campus.
Oh,
You said
right
shout out to Horace?
Horace Lambert, my homie.
Shout out to Horace Lambert, man. That's powerful. Took a year from grad school, man, just to go preach. And man, look at the fruit.
Yep.
Wow,
the
man.
Dangling carrot.
The dangling carrot. You were chasing it. And then Lord brought you right in the focus. Like, listen, stop all that chasing, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. The Chosen got me hyped, man. Just watching.
Bro, I'm telling you, me and my wife been watching that, and I mean, I'm a crier, but it'll be like the random parts of the episode that got me breaking down. I'm like, what? I didn't even get to like they did that. They did that.
See, I want to say without spoiling, because some people may not have seen it. My wife haven't finished yet, so I'm gonna just hold up. But there's one part with Nicodemus when he saw, he gave his money, but he didn't really accept. I'll save that for later. That part had me like, oh man, like is that me? Is that me? like am I
every time?
Am I giving some, but I'm not giving enough? Like what's going on? Man.
Every time.
Man, appreciate you sharing that story. So, for real, man. Hopefully somebody hear that and definitely be led to seek the Lord on that one. But so you're a DJ, right? Is that all you do?
Nah, that's only the surface. That's the bait. That's the bait.
Okay.
Like, that's I'm a DJ, like, cool. I'm just like y'all, but then you come and sit down with me, and it's like I have a lot. I'm an onion for sure. I think the titles that I've been able to develop is the Master Gatherer, Celebration Expert, a Disciple of Jesus, for sure, and a newlywed.
How long has it been? Is the year yet?
It's almost a year, but we got married in March 10th.
All right. It's a couple more months, man.
Yeah, we fresh. Fresh. But nah, I think as far as trade, activity, all that stuff, I could go into the Renaissance man category confidently and humbly.
All right. But you said two things. You said the Master Gatherer, right? And what was the second one? The Master Gatherer and the Celebration?
Yep, Celebration Expert.
Celebration Expert. All right. So.
Hold on.
Oh.
I don't know if you could pause it, but my camera said I don't know. Damn.
All right, just hit the. It might be a camera right there, or you might just hit the refresh real quick.
Oh, that's crazy.
There it is. You there?
See, I'm a rookie.
No, you
I'm a
good.
rookie.
You good. So with those two things, what do you use? Because I want you to introduce to those who may not know what I was talking about, seeing you do on IG. What is it that you do on IG? There's also a bait, I will say, right? That people love going to a party. So what is it that you do that you get a chance to be that master gatherer?
I gather and celebrate. The only way you can gather people is you present a need. The
Mm-hmm.
need for the Christian community, specifically the young professionals, is a place to go outside of their workplace, outside of their home, and outside of their church. And I provided an environment that they could feel safe, that they can feel adventurous, but also feel a bit opportunistic, where they aren't just in a controlled, like a super duper controlled environment where they know every single person. It gives them opportunity to exercise their social skills, make friends, network, all that.
And what is this called? This is called, everyone. I'm gonna let you say it. I want you to say it right. What is this called?
This is the Joyful Noize.
The Joyful Noize.
Mm-hmm.
So break this down. So it's a pop-up, right? So it's not one location.
Yes, we live in tents. But yeah, I mean, infrastructure rise is just not. It's not wise in today's culture to put your bread in brick and mortar in a startup. So we decide to rent out venues, rent out spaces, churches, wherever we have an open space, we're gonna fill it up.
And so what's break it down for me. What are the steps? Like, how do people know what's going on?
This is gonna be fun. So when you say get them to know what's going on, you just talking about how do we get out the word?
Yeah, how do you get the word out? How do people find you?
Yeah, so right now, I mean, the power of social media is definitely the foundation of it. Social media, it's like, I guess I could compare it to what my coach called it when we played basketball. It's like you can either dribble up the court, or you can pass it, and passing the ball moves quicker than dribbling. So I feel like social media is like passing the ball versus stepping out and putting your feet to the ground, which is, the classic way of getting out the word, and it's still effective. But needless to say, it's crazy even to process this. I don't live in Orlando. I live an hour and 15 minutes away in Palm Bay, Florida. My wife was teaching out here. I lived in Orlando originally, but I moved out here to support her as she was teaching. And I had to ask myself, man, like, Orlando's where it's at right now. Destination city. A lot of the hottest artists are there for the Christian space. And I was like, man, I got to get something moving and shaking. So my main thing was I'm going to paint the picture online, utilize my content, and you got to saturate it. Like it's a cork board, and the person with the most flyers to cover the cork board is going to get the most attention. So for me, I'm posting 3 times a day on that page, short form content, and just making sure I crack that algorithm.
You just gave a tip, to be honest with you. So he said he posts 3 times a day, y'all. So carry on.
Yep. Small tip, small discipline, but yeah, you got to get people talking. So like I said, I don't live in Orlando, but people are talking about it, which I'm grateful, because my friends, my homies are like, yo, my barber was asking me about Joyful Noize. My friends who aren't Christian are like, yo, do you know about that Christian club? They're sending it to their friends. It's like this trailblazing, like this wildfire that's happening in Orlando right now. So, but it just came from me posting content and showing that it's actually happening. I went from like sharing the vision to capturing the content and making sure people know that it's out there. Simple as that.
So what did you see? You said filling the need, and most things where people are successful, they see, an issue, they see a problem, right? And so what did you see? You're like, you know what? I think we should just start popping up and let's just party, man. Let's just get together. Like, this is needed. How did you see that?
So it's a culmination of things. I saw it first when I lived in Maryland before here. Little journey. I moved from California to Virginia for college. I went from Virginia to Maryland to run a youth ministry to help lead a youth ministry. When I was in Maryland, I was very intrigued by the culture out there in regards to nightlife. DC, Maryland, the DMV. They had these events where I had friends who were artists and they would have listening sessions in basements because basements are huge out there. Like, it's a normal thing to have basements.
Yeah.
So my first listening party I went to, my friends April and Vista, they had a listening party in this lady's basement. It was dope. I was intrigued and I was like, man, this is really cool. I wonder if there's more things like this. Because April and Vista, they're alternative R&B. They're not specifically Christian. They definitely got some gospel undertones, but they wasn't a part of that community that I was a part of. So then I start asking myself, is there anybody out there that's doing this for Christians? And long story short, no. There wasn't any unique spaces. There was church events, church concerts, and I was like, okay, this is a start. So then fast forward to moving to Orlando. Within those 4 years of being in Maryland and being in Orlando, the only thing that I would see happening amongst Christians was conferences, concerts, and maybe a game night. But one thing that would happen in Maryland and also in Orlando was when I was around young adults, people that wasn't on college campuses, it would be a Friday night or a Saturday night, and everybody's like, what are we going to do? And some people would say, hey, let's go to this, there's a fight night or there's a football game. And sure enough, those football games are in the bar. Bar has a DJ, or it's like a Buffalo Wild Wings. So it's either we're at a restaurant or we're at a bar or we're at a lounge because we're just trying to get out the house.
Right.
And every time we're like fighting temptation, we're trying to help each other. It's like we're stepping into this different world just to get what we want. We're just trying to get out. Or when like me, I'm a dancer. I love to dance. And I have friends who love dancing, specifically salsa dancing. So we found that salsa nights was kind of the safest in between because we don't understand the lyrics like that. So if they was talking crazy, we're protected. and then for the most part, like salsa, depending on where you're at, salsa can be a pretty pure-hearted like form of dancing.
Right.
But then in my mind, I'm like, all right, I can only salsa dance so many weekends. Like I love dance. I love house music. I love hip hop. I want a two-step. Like, so I just continued to have that knack for like, where is this at? Where's this at? And is it a bad thing that I want to do this? And then it got to the point for me when I was in Maryland, I just started hitting up my DJ friends and seeing where like they were DJing at, because there's a style called open format DJing now that is a little less reckless in the club scene. It's more just, I would say it's dance music. You feel me? Funk and disco, house, all that has came back around. So it's like a little less of a guilt trip because you're like, okay, I'm here just to dance. Right. Okay, y'all doing whatever y'all doing over there. I'm just gonna be over here dancing my butt off. But still, that environment, man, no matter what, atmosphere is powerful. So I couldn't do it, and it was just disappointing. Like I'm just like, what is there? And fast forward again to Orlando, I started DJing for Caleb Gordon, and I was privileged to be with him on his like show run when he started getting some viral songs. And that's when I was able to travel to state. And again, the Bryce that explores and asks questions started to come around. I started asking everybody, what do y'all do on the weekends? What do y'all do outside of this concert? People was giving me the same answer. We don't do much. If we do something, we go to the lounge or we go to the bar. They was going through the same stuff I was going through.
Same stuff. All
over the U.S. And even in the Bahamas, they had their battling their temptations of going out to the certain functions. So I was like, So the only thing that we have is this concert, which is very linear. You look at the person on stage,
Yeah.
you get your merch, you're with your friends, and then you leave. You probably won't meet the person next to you or the person on the other side of the concert venue because they're all trying to just connect with this artist.
Right.
So I'm just like, there needs to be an event where you can actually look to your left and your right without the pastor telling you and actually just
Slap your
connect with
neighbor.
people.
Yeah.
Turn to your neighbor. So that was the whole culmination. It's a long drawn story, but I feel like for the main portion of it was how often do we get to go out and meet other like-minded people and not be put through a conveyor belt of concert, but even sometimes with the church events. No offense to church events, because the ministry is a ministry. We gotta do what we gotta do to bring people to the gospel.
Right.
But what if there's a good portion of them that are saved, that already are full with the word and just want to make friends?
Mm.
Do they have to sit through another lesson? Do they have to sit through a whole whole skit game format just so they could be convinced of something they're already convinced of? Can they just make friends and have great conversations? And I just wanted that for the people.
I don't know, man. You might have been solving some relationship issues too, man. Because they're like, where do I find somebody? Where do I go? Do you go?
That's the other thing.
Yeah, you want me to go to church?
Man, because I'm like we always talk about like, man, people go to the church to sometimes find their special one, and it's sometimes a very predatory like way. And
yeah.
And it's unfortunate because it's kind of like when somebody's deprived of opportunity, they get desperate. So like, yeah, if you don't give people opportunities to actually socialize, they start finding unconventional ways to get what they desire. So, yeah.
So what's a typical Joyful Noise night look like? I'm coming in, I show up to the spot. What am I seeing?
So the first thing, you're getting greeted by the ticket people. Shout out Destiny. She's been holding it down. She gonna get you your wristband. You're gonna get checked. Security gonna make sure you're straight. So you know you're secure because they checking everything. We're not just letting randoms in. But then when you step in, like, it's warm, it's cozy, but somebody's handing you a water, free, fresh off the cooler water, saying, "Welcome to Joyful Noise," and knowing that you're acknowledged and you're also gonna be hydrated. That's one small thing that I just like to do. But when you walk in, depending on the time, you're gonna step into an environment where I feel like for most people they're like skeptical or they're a little nervous because it's new. You're like, okay,
I can imagine.
Yeah, you walk in, you're like, okay, like what's going on? But like I said, depending on the time, you're just gonna see people talking, socializing in the beginning, some light music, but you're actually like, okay, like people are talking, and again, because people ain't talked like this in forever, you're seeing it like it's like loud in conversation. And then my dog DJ Cam pops out, he starts getting the music going. Right before that, I welcome everybody. I'm sharing the word of why we do this, Psalm 100, reading it word for word so they know what's up. Pray together. And then DJ Cam gets busy, starts playing the music. You get a few people who already know what to do, and then you see everybody else follow. I'm in there hyping people up. I feel like I'm the hype man, but I'm also the dance instructor, because there's one side of it, no offense to Christians, it's like we really don't know how to party. There's some people that tell me like, people tell me like they've never partied in their life. So I'm just like, yeah, because again, like you gotta remember, like there's no parties happening like that. For some churches that are very conservative, obviously. So this is kind of and this is like a young adult crowd, so they're finally stepping out. They're kind of testing the waters. So I'm literally like, okay, like, come on, you could dance here, 2-step. I'm gonna show you how to 2-step. I'm like a dance instructor, because some people, they don't know.
And they just trying to figure it out. Like, hey, am I supposed to do this? Is it okay for me to do this? Like, I used to do this, but can I still do this?
Yeah, it's giving them an atmosphere to like really learn. For some people, it's relearning, but for some people, it's fresh. It's learning. So
right, man, that's a dope environment. So this is all throughout Florida. Is there a specific city, or is it always in Orlando?
Right now, we're just in Orlando. I'm just trying to nail down Orlando and take over that city.
Nice, man. Nice, man. That's something, man. If I could go, wish I could, but you know, that means I gotta make it to Orlando. Now, am I
Hey,
too old to go? Now, do the age cap off somewhere? No, because I'm 38.
nah,
So,
that's a big thing for me, man. Like, all ages for my event. I don't have a cap or if you're 16 and under, you need parental guidance because I don't
yep.
need no teen running off and they're like, "Where's my little man?" You know, I
Mm-hmm.
don't need none of that. But yeah, I love all ages because another thing that I saw that was a need was intergenerational fellowship. I feel like a
Yeah.
lot of churches keep their, which is a great delegation system. You have your ministries, you have young adults, teens, older adults, whether they're single or married, and
Yeah.
they have these different sections, but there's not often churches that just keep the events like intergenerational. So I love seeing the kids in there having a good time, showing us how to just let loose and not care
Mm-hmm.
about what people think. I love seeing the seasoned people showing us that some moves that are old school are now like modern, or like some
Right.
moves never get old. I love it. It's like a family reunion, honestly, when we have multiple ages.
That's a
So
perfect description. Because when I checked out the website and I was looking at the different video clips of the different parties, and I'm like, man, that is dope. Like you, because you don't see that. You're right. Like, I think you're the only person that I've seen do. I'm sure there's probably somebody doing that somewhere, but I don't know. I haven't seen it. Or they're not
yeah,
posting it.
there's been a crazy surge of Christian clubs, and obviously because of the viral content, it's
Yeah.
definitely like sparked a lot of it sparked a lot of inspiration in people. So there's a few out there. I can name them. We All Talk. They've been doing their thing. The Cove, that's in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
LA has two now, which is 217, and also the Safe Social Club. Dallas has the Praise Break, and then the original, the OG, where I was able to DJ at first, was the Arc, and that's in Atlanta. Uh, and there's a few others. But yeah,
Is there
those are the ones.
any in North Carolina?
Not yet,
Ah,
unfortunately. Yeah. But there's people talking to me, reaching out to me, trying to get it started. So there's some people working on it.
what do we have to do to get you somewhere? Is there like what's the whole setup, man? Is that an option yet for somebody to bring you somewhere to get that going?
So right now, 2025 is pretty much the answer. Like, if you want me
Okay.
out, just wait. But while you wait, put together your plan, put together a following, like do the best you can. Because in 2025, I'm going to step out and really start
Mm.
planting, like, and getting out there and helping people get it going.
Joyful Noise, man. Look out, 2025. Joyful
Yes,
Noise
sir.
is coming your way somewhere.
Mhm.
All right, but you mentioned you work with somebody, and as we know, we have up and coming artists, or maybe they already here. I can't keep saying up and coming because my time is, the cross movement, Lecrae. You know what I'm saying? I'll listen. I know who people are now,
Mhm.
but you have a new generation, and you said you worked with Caleb Gordon. Take us into what that experience is like. He's new, he's hot, he's on the scene. You know what I'm saying? Looks like he do a lot of his own promotion, a
Mhm.
lot of his own stuff. But what
Mhm.
is it like, combining with well, I guess, can I say new? Because he
Yeah,
ain't
you
new.
can say
Yeah,
no.
okay. Can I say, all right. So what is it like stepping into that realm now?
Man, honestly, it's the gold standard right now for
Mm,
independent Christian hip hop artists. Between Caleb Gordon and Alex Jean,
mm-hmm.
um, the gold standard of how to be an independent Christian artist is
Yeah.
their lifestyle and their discipline. Um, when I first met Caleb, it was during the pandemic, or kind of like at the tail end of the pandemic. We were just on live. Everybody was on live trying to network and connect. This man was live hopping. This is when he had like 5 people on his live, and he's just like, tag a few people for me that got they live, and they got a bunch of people on it. And people would tag him. He'll hop on,
Mm-hmm.
introduce himself, and just start rapping West Orlando flow like on they live, and they're like,
Mm.
"Wait, we didn't even ask you to rap." He's just like, "I don't care, listen." Uh, but I saw his grind. I was like, okay, me as a DJ, at that time I was doing real estate, but I was like I had a real estate page, but I was just like always trying to find new artists for my page for content. But yeah, when I met him, the first thing that clicked, a big thing for me is like if they have some attributes that resemble my type of focus when it comes to art and business, I'm with it because it's a rare form. Like confidently, humbly speaking, like it's hard to find people that have a similar mindset. But that mindset is that we just are creative. We love our creativity, but we're nerds with business. So when I talked to Caleb, he was at that time 2020, so 2021. So he was 21 because he was born 2000. It's crazy. But when I talked to him at that time, he just started sharing with me books that he's reading. And I started sharing with him books that I'm reading. And we started talking about lessons and sermons and scriptures. We started digging into all that stuff before the music. And I was like, okay, he's different. Just off of that alone, because a lot of artists, no offense, is just, I would say 90, I'm going to be nice, 95% of artists, Christian, not Christian, but just Christian right now, aren't really educating themselves in the music business. And no, I'm gonna say 98. I'm gonna say 98%.
I knew it was gonna go up.
Yeah, because I'm like the 2% are doing it. The 2% that are actually doing it, you know them, like, or you've heard of them. So when I met him there, I knew he was gonna be special. To the point, that was the reason I moved from Maryland. I took all my stuff. I left. I didn't have a car, house, money. I just picked up and moved to Orlando because I was like, this dude's gonna be dope, and I need, as a DJ, I need an artist that's dope. Like I wanna support. I was praying before I met him. I said, let me be the armor bearer to the Jonathans, so the ones that are faithful, the ones that have these crazy ideas that want to see God move. I want to be able to tell them I'm with them heart and soul, and we do something that changes a whole nation.
Wow.
So from there, it's been crazy. It's been lit.
So your impression of him got you to move from Maryland to Orlando with nothing. Yeah. You didn't have. You just picked up whatever you had.
I did one show with this man.
One show.
Yeah. I did one show with this man, and I knew just because I have a certain energy to when I DJ, and if an artist can't match that energy, it's hard. But it's rare that I find somebody that match the energy. So he matched my energy. So I was like, yeah, I need this.
Yo, what's your IG tag?
Bryce G.707.
Bryce G.707. Just pause the pod right now. Go check out, because he said matches energy. Go and check out what he does as he's DJing. You never quite seen this before. All right. And then see if you can match his energy. For all those artists that are out there and say, I need a DJ, man. I'm looking for somebody. Go check him out. And then it's like, okay, I don't know if I could do it, or yeah, I got you. I can get that done. So that's what's up, man. And I think we were talking a little bit before we started. Got a couple of more questions, man. So much. But we're gonna get it done. We were talking about the new generation versus the old generation, and you said,
"Oh snap!"
You said if the newer generation right now doesn't really know the I would say the pillars, then did they have much of an impact on who these artists are now? I don't know your answer for this, but I would say, I don't know impact, but I believe they provided opportunities to have CHH to be a platform to be looked upon. So, you had, again, Cross Movement kicking in the door. You had, Lecrae, and then obviously the Derek Miners of the world, and, the list goes on and on and on. Even, that the ones that took the blunt of calling Christian hip hop, saying worldly, secular, and stumping on the CDs, outside the church, But what's your take on that, man? What's your take on that?
So my take on it is, unfortunately, without airing people out, there's a flawed infrastructure and a lack of forgiveness that really ruined that legacy amongst those artists that they don't want to talk about, and some of them have, but it's too. I ain't gonna say it's too late, but it's like because there's already motion building outside of whatever they put together. It's kind of like they had it, but because of these behind the scenes situations, it ruins. It just ruins the purity behind it. And this is specific to American Christian hip hop. Like Afrobeats is thriving right now in the UK and Africa. Like they didn't have to deal with that. Well, I'm speaking from the American perspective, but I believe within those genres, there wasn't this weird like underbelly of weird bad business and beef that was happening, and because they were maintaining this image, they tried to keep it under wraps until these young guys came around. And I'm kind of like that in between. I'm kind of like that undercover big brother, because everybody thinks I'm like 20 because I'm new to the space, but I'm like amongst them. But I was kind of at the tail end of a lot of those movements, and I caught Lecrae and Andy on their run. So I'm kind of like, okay, this is cool, but I'm like, why is it not popping off? And then as I met Caleb and Alex and all these guys, when they got into these doors, into these rooms, and they're wondering, why is everybody not really connected? Or maybe Caleb says something and it just sparks everybody and they start getting angry, and you're asking like, why? It seems like they're not talking to Caleb. They're not. I think that's when somebody is not talking to you, they're talking to their past, like traumas. Like we started seeing that from top to bottom, from big artists to artists that were around and just kind of fell off. So I speak on that, where we're grateful that they were bold enough to put Jesus on it. Like, I'm not going to discredit that. It's not easy to push an independent business. Yeah. And on top of that, a Jesus-centered independent business. I just think it's unfortunate that I've witnessed most of these artists come in that are hot and ready to go, and they have nobody to point to right now. A lot of these OGs are not reachable, or they don't have anything but nightmare stories of business and interactions with other people. So all we get is stories of bitterness, and we're like, okay, thanks, but I'm still trying to grow. So that's the part.
Speaking of bitterness, there's one pet peeve that I don't like, and I was just thinking about this the other day, right? Is when another artist, let's say I guess we'll leave names out of it, but let's just say there's a big artist that quote unquote doesn't have the CHH throne at the time, and then on their records, right, the ones that's coming behind them saying, all right, I'm gonna take his spot, you don't want that platform, give it to me. It's like, what are you doing, man? Like, why are you trying to there's no hierarchy here. Where you trying to go ahead.
That's the thing. And it's like infrastructure goes on both sides, business and biblical principles. Yeah. And I think, unfortunately, some people got too mainstream to keep certain biblical principles intact, where they adopted maybe some other biblical principles of some bigger Christian movements that caused people to think that there was a scarcity. Because we're Christian, we don't have a lot. That's so backwards. We follow God, a God of abundance. So a lot of this crabs in a bucket type mentality in a Christian space is unfortunate, because we have the most abundant. And that's why I say, like, when I spoke to Caleb and Alex, when I met them, and this is why I can say, like, I don't know how much of the past the OGs had an influence. Yes, they did do some great breakthrough moments, but when I speak to these guys, a lot of them didn't know. Most of these young cats, even outside of Caleb and Gordon, when I talk to a lot of these up and coming artists, a lot of them don't know any artists from the past, like any, because there's nothing that's stapled or stamped that made enough noise to break into mainstream or to. So that's where it gets a little tricky, because I'm like, they're looking at I'm grateful for what they've done, but at the end of the day, if we look at the Bible, we're gonna find everything we need, whether they did it or not.
Yeah.
So I don't even want us to take credit. Like the Bible is always gonna give us, like, even if nobody did it right, somebody is gonna actually follow the Bible, do what they need to do, and have some breakthrough.
Mm.
So I think the OGs take too much pride in that and want the credit because they have nothing to hold on to right now.
Oh, you just say. Why you say?
Hey,
See, hey man, this ain't gonna be another cat one.
I know. Hey,
this is Brian.
like I said, I'm grateful for a lot of them, bro. But yeah, it's just tough to. It's a tough humble pie to hold on to, and I have to hold on to it like that. That's what I had to realize. As Joyful Noise gets bigger, I have to realize it becomes less and less about me being a dope DJ. It becomes more and more about these young people need somewhere to go.
Yeah.
These young people need opportunities to connect. These young people need Jesus. And it's all about that. I don't want no credit. I just enjoy the fact that I get to be a part of it.
Mm.
So, yeah.
That is a little piece of humble pie there. Because yes, there's a lot that went on. There's a lot of unforgiveness that happened, and there was a lot of crabs in the bucket. Somebody's trying to be the best, tower here and there, and then it just I don't think it stood the test of time. And I would say shout out to Lecrae for still being relevant, for still being in spaces, for bringing on new talent. Right, didn't stay with the people he came in with, and he is still with them, but bringing on new people. That's where we get Wande and What Up RG and and Hovey and everybody else that I probably don't know about, didn't mention. They ain't gonna hear this though. It's all good. But what I'm saying, it's just it's definitely good to see, and definitely I play it for my teens, but they transcend the teens. You know what I'm saying? They ain't just the teens listening. You know what I mean? People are looking for a good time, a good experience, and also to still stay connected to their love for music, their love for hip hop. And so to find out that there's something else out there. My personal favorite right now that just came up on the scene is Miles Minnick. You know what I'm saying? Because he really, really touches on that Bay Area sound. Like, and he's doing it right. And it's like it goes hard too. So like he's the one right now that
Shout
I'm
out
enjoying.
Miles, man. That's my dog.
Oh man, it's amazing, man. I listen to that all the time. So now I can because I'm a youth pastor, so I can let my teens hear, okay, this is what Bay Area music sound like. And you know what I'm saying? And it's holy. And I don't know how to do none of the dances or nothing like that, man. I never I never knew how to do it, man. But it's all good. Last one before we get up out of here, man, and let's get to the main reason why everyone's here. And again, shout out to you, Bryce, man. This has been amazing. It's already an hour.
I appreciate you having me, bro, for real.
Nah, man. Listen. I had to. I was like, man, I'm a ask. Let me see. I don't know how he's like, man. Hopefully he remembered me from when I saw him that last time, but we'll see what's going on. But I definitely appreciate you for doing this. But what keeps you from chasing what looks like success? Obviously, you getting people to gather, you getting people to celebrate, and you can easily say, well, I'm gonna take my talents to this radio station. I wanna be here now, or I'm gonna take it to this club, man. If I could do this, man, you know how much money we can make, and me and my wife could be living. What keeps you from chasing that dangling carrot and staying focused?
Man, one quote, but I think it ties into scripture too. But lifestyle will always supersede image, and a lot of people chase image, but they're not focusing on lifestyle. So for me, my disciplines, I'm grateful for my pops. Like he said, he's from the Show Me State. He's from Missouri. He's like, you could talk, but I need to see action. So for me, like my daily disciplines, my daily time in the Word, and I know the time is limited for this convo, but like my time in the Word every day will always be the thing that keeps me on track. But not just my time in the Word, but the applications that follow. So applying God's Word it will always keep me centered on what's most important, because that's a lifestyle thing. It's not, I don't read the Bible just to say I read the Bible. It's like, nah, I need this to stay focused. So that will always keep me.
Man, that's what's up, man. Man, shout out to Bryce G, man. Where can people find you to follow you to keep track of the Joyful Noise?
Bryce G 707, all platforms, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you'll find me there with my apron on, doing my thing.
All right, there you go. Bryce.707. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, man. That's it. And again, shout out to you, man, and for your wife for allowing you to come on. So much more to talk about, so much more to cover, but y'all need to go follow him. Yeah, go follow him. Make sure that you subscribe to the Dangling Carrot Podcast on YouTube. Follow us on IG at Dangling_Carrot. That's it. And man, tune in. We still have more to go, man, but I'm so appreciative. And I just want everybody to hear the focus and the fun and just the excitement for doing the one thing they love to do and not trying to chase that success, man, but really, giving everything over to what they feel like they're called to do, what God has given and blessed them to do. So appreciate you, man.
Yeah, most definitely. Appreciate you.
All right, DC Podcast. We out. We out here, y'all.
Yes,
Peace
sir.
and increase. We'll see.